Hey guys, Jake here from Inside Sim Racing, and today we're going to be taking a sneak peek and doing a review on the brand new Moza CS Pro racing wheel. Let's get into it. Alright, so getting into this, here we have the illustrious CS Pro racing wheel. Now, I would like to preface that this wheel will be coming out on January 15th, as well as the KS Pro will be coming the next day after that. Getting into this wheel, first glance, I think the most notorious thing that you'll notice is that this actually has a display screen. We'll show that on the rig as well later, but this is a great addition to the wheel. It seems like it's trying to compete with the 310 GT, as if you look here on the Conspit has the actual heads-up display that's also compatible with SimHub on their wheel already on the round hub. Now, I'm not seeing anything too crazy on the actual upgrades for the wheel itself. Basically same size wheel. I feel like the pleather, what have you, is just a little bit better quality, has a really good feeling to it. Little upgrades with like the kind of like weird carbon mesh on the hub and on the whole body of the actual hub. I did notice that the wheel has 2 extra encoders on the bottom here and here over the CSV2, as well as a couple other buttons. They kept the analogs up here. They do feel a little bit better than the old CSV2 though. They also have new encoders up here, up by the thumbs, which feel great. I can very easily access those with my thumbs, and that's for me with bigger hands. I have pretty long thumbs, so maybe a little bit harder for people with smaller hands, but for me it feels great. Buttons feel awesome. All the buttons are in a really good place, like when you're actually grabbing on the wheel to actually get to them without too much trouble. So you have your standard clutch paddles on the rear, like before, and also the clutch paddles. Nothing too crazy. I don't think this is meant to be revolutionary or anything like that. I think it's merely just an upgrade over the CSV2 and just a little bit more over the realms of the RSV2 as well. You'll do notice that on the back here of the actual hub, there's two screw holes right here, and that is for their pedal add-on kit. Also, yeah, pedal, by the way. They need to fix that, but the pedal add-on kit, which comes in about 45 bucks, can be added on to the back of the hub there. And I'll be honest, I don't really know why you would want 6 paddles. I don't know anybody that personally uses 6 paddles. I barely know anybody that actually uses the clutch paddles on the wheel to do anything with them. So if you're doing something super fancy or weird, maybe you want them. But I think for this wheel being $329 and what you get for it, I don't really think you need those. But clutch paddles and regular paddles should be all you need. Really nothing too crazy about this wheel. When we get into Moza Pit House software later, you'll see that this screen, obviously has telemetry support, but they have a bunch of different screens available within Moza Pit House that you can change from. Most of it being centered around rally, which makes sense, obviously, because, round steering wheel and the hub and whatnot. So if you'll notice on the old CSV2, it's a lot more simplistic in nature, and like I said, the quality on the actual suede, the pleather on this, doesn't feel as great. And you'll see have only one of those encoders and only one button down here compared to the 4 that are on the new CS Pro. And you don't have the encoders up here on the CSV2, and like I said, those old analogs were pretty meh, and you only had the rev light. So also in the back, you still had your paddles and your clutch, but no addition for those added clutch paddles. So, oh, and one thing I did want to show, if you'll notice, if you've read anything about the new Conspit 310 GT, or not the 310 GT, the 300 GT, they actually added buttons on the back of their hub. I actually have it over here, give me one sec. If you look on the back of the 300 GT, they added buttons on the back of the wheel, which I thought was a really nice feature. And one thing that they did not do on the 310 GT from Conspit is add those buttons, but on the back of the CS Pro, they did actually add buttons to the back of the hub, which I think is actually a really nice feature. I could definitely see myself using those. I think that's a wonderful addition to, especially a round wheel with a hub. I think those are really smart design choice. So, yeah, getting back to the old CSV2, there's just so much more element of life and effectiveness of the new wheel, and I think that's what you're really paying for. So, without further ado, I think we're just going to get right into this. Let's go grab the CS Pro, get on the rig, and do some driving. All right, so getting into the wheel, one thing I did want to just point out really quickly is the backlights on the encoders are actually LEDs. So as you go around, you can see that it's highlighted the color and the number, which, small detail, but I did notice that, and it is very cool. But nonetheless, let's get into this. All right. So right off the gate, the paddles don't feel much different from the CSV2, but they do feel good. Very good feeling. Clutch paddles are the same. Also have a really great feeling. Have no complaints there. I believe the size of the actual wheel is the same. It's probably about 330 millimeters, pretty standard. But again, I would like to preface that the actual quality and the feeling of the pleather feels a lot better over the CSV2, and it's definitely a huge improvement. And as you can see now, you can see the screen working away. I just loaded up a preset out of Moza Pit House. Pretty basic and simple. You got your inputs right here, brake and clutch. Looks like it's inverted on the actual screen itself, but then you got like tire pressures, and those are all changeable and stuff like that too, which is really neat. Yeah, like actually being with the wheel, you can see that, you know, for me, I got pretty big hands, and I can still very easily reach these encoders, which is really nice. And on the bottom here, you know, I really don't have to move too far to get to these encoders or anything like that. It's all very nice and fluid. Wheel feels really nice. There's no like deviation. The wheel is very solid. And you know, we're running the R21 right now, so this is a lot of force, and it feels absolutely rock solid. So really enjoy that. Paddles feel great, not too loud, not like super clicky or anything like that. Encoders are nice. Those are also easy to get to. I do like how the screen is, you know, has information, but it's also not too big and just in your face. It's subtle. Like if you need just a little bit of information while you're driving, it's there, but it's also not needed, you know. There's really not much else to say about this wheel. Again, it's not revolutionary, but it's a great upgrade over the CSV2, and I would definitely pick this up over the RSV2 considering the price. I think both the KS Pro and the CS Pro being $329 is a very competitive price, especially for the likes of, you know, SimMagic and Conspit and stuff like that. I think they're all great options, and Moza, you know, delivered with this wheel. So I don't think I'd personally want to buy this myself, just because, you know, when I'm using a round wheel, I personally don't really need all the functionalities for most of what I'm driving. But for somebody that's doing like modern rally or, anything of the likes like modern GT4 cars, this wheel feels very correct in that sense. So yeah, overall, I think this is a great purchase. Don't have too much else to say about it. All right, so that's going to wrap it up on the CS Pro. We hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions or comments about the wheel and or for us, be sure to leave them down in the comment section below. Just to let you know, we will have the CS Pro and the KS Pro available for pre-order soon, and you can check that out at simmotion.com. And with that, I have been Jake with Inside Sim Racing, and I will see you in the next video.